It was late in April 1968. I received that first report with some skepticism, but in the following months I was to hear similar stories from such a wide variety of people that it became impossible for me to disbelieve that something rather dark and bloody did indeed occur sometime in March 1968 in a village called Pinkville in the Republic of Vietnam. When I sat down with a friend who had been there 3 weeks after the massacre, and we were telling each other war stories, and we hadn't seen each other in 3 months, and I said, "What have you been doing?" He said, "What have you been doing?" He said, "Oh man, did you hear what we did at Pinkville?" I said, "No, what'd you do at Pinkville?" He said, "We went in there and we killed everybody." I said, "Killed everybody? What do you mean?" He said, "We just shot them, lined them up and shot them down, 300, 400, 500 people, I don't know how many." And my immediate reaction was, these no good sons of bitches. Look what they've gotten me into, look what they've gotten us all into. They left me now with a choice to turn in my friends or to be a part of this horrible crime. And I'm not going to be a part of this horrible crime. The only way to not be a part of the horrible crime is to discover the truth and to pursue it.
These Ridenhour Awards that we launched today are meant in their own small way to keep alive Ron's spirit, the spirit of truth-telling.
People who know that this war was wrongly entered into, that the policy currently is disastrous, that future wars, and here I'm speculating on the basis of leaks, but that future wars are being prepared and are going to be lied about in just the same way that the plans exist, just as I knew plans existed in '64, should consider not doing what I did, not waiting 4 or 5 years till the bombs are falling before they tell what they know and what they believe to Congress and the press.
I have never gone by a Xerox shop without thinking of Dan Ellsberg. Night after night, and then quarters and quarters. There should be an Ellsberg photocopier.
My wife, Valerie, has been dragged into the public square in an unprecedented act to essentially administer to her a public beating because they could not discredit me to the extent that they wanted to do so. I'm sorry for that. If I could give you back your anonymity, I would do it in a minute.
Ron Ridenhour's stamina and his own trust of his own sense of justice, despite the people around him, pushed an open secret out into broader light. I think of poverty as an open secret. I think it's an ordinary atrocity.
Isn't it true that instead of fixing airline security, port security, mass transportation, local response, and securing loose nukes and biological components, we spent billions of dollars on starting a war with Iraq, a nation that had nothing to do with 9/11?
We have a collective problem here of war crimes on a major scale that begin with the presidency that we're going to have to deal with in our lifetime at some point. Maybe it'll come out in the history books much later. But we're looking at a monumental crime against humanity.
Anthony Shadid took enormous physical risks by choosing the red zone over the green zone in Iraq. But he did something bolder, same thing that all our honorees have done, and that is he told the truth.
But there is a group of people who took a very great and grave risk to help me in my time in Iraq. Without them, my book wouldn't have been possible. And they exemplify the spirit of the Ridenhour Prizes. Those people are the brave Iraqis who work with Western journalists in Iraq.
If they, the government, could do this to me, an American, a Navy veteran, a gentleman who voted for George Bush not once but twice, what is exactly happening to the many innocent Iraqi detainees that are currently interred in places such as Camp Cropper throughout Iraq?
If we want justice at the end of the revolution, we must choose just means. If we want peace and friendship and poetry and joy and dancing at the end of the revolution, we have to use them as our means on the way to the revolution. So I hereby declare this room the revolutionary feminist government in exile.
Life is not an annuity, but a mandate. And the mandate is that there is no end to what one human being owes to another, can mean to another.
My prayer on behalf of the children of the Holy Land and America is for the gift of courage to Israeli and Palestinian leaders. But particularly on this occasion, I'd like to say, for our own elected officials of both parties and at both ends of Pennsylvania Avenue, that they would have the courage to face the facts and to do what is necessary to return America to its honored position as a peacemaker.